Hello, and welcome to the FAFSA 101 workshop, a K-12 recording. Today's recording will deal with learning about financial aid. As a junior and senior, one of the biggest challenges is trying to figure out the financial aid process, and this workshop will help you to determine some of the things to think about and some tips. So today we're going to talk about federal student aid, state student aid from colleges, and private aid. We're also going to answer some questions about what is financial aid, who can get it, how much can you get, how do you apply, what happens next, and where can you get more information once this presentation is over. So financial aid is a very encompassing definition, so I'm going to read it. It's a catch-all term referring to any program that offers money to assist with the costs associated with being a student. This includes tuition help, scholarships, living stipends, textbook costs, child care benefits, work grants, entrepreneurship support, and more. Aid can come from a number of sources: state, local, and federal government, the college itself, professional organizations, private charities, and many others. So what we're going to do in the next few slides is try to break that down and talk about all the different kinds of financial aid. The first type of aid is state aid. And for this presentation, it's a pretty general slide. The reason is the state aid depends on where you live. So you're going to have to do a little research. You can ask your college about specific aid. So if you're going to attend a college in Texas, then talk to that financial aid office because that Texas is going to have specific rules that are different from California, for example. Different states also have different filing deadlines, so make sure you pay attention to that. You can also get more specific and have institutional or school aid. So the types of institutional aid can be need-based or merit-based grants. A grant is money that you receive that you do not have to pay back. So this is a great thing. You can earn scholarships. Scholarships from the school are also wonderful because if you look at school scholarships compared to national scholarships, those are more specific, so you have probably a better mathematical chance of earning them. Scholarships, again, do not have to be paid back, but a lot of times they're dependent on certain criteria, such as maintaining a 3.0 grade average. Loans, you can get student or parent loans. Loans do have to be paid back. It's just like getting a car. If you get a car and you have to get a loan, you're going to have an interest rate and certain payment structures. Loans generally do not have to be paid back by a student until after they graduate college. Work study. Work study, if you earn work study through financial aid, that will be a job that's set up on campus that helps you to pay for some basic needs. Work study is dependent on how much money the school can give, and they might give you jobs somewhere around the campus. And you get paid, just like you would at a normal job. So the application process for financial aid at each institution can help you explain what type of aid is available and how to apply. The other kind of aid is private aid. So private aid can come from lots of different resources. It can come from local businesses, churches, private benefactors. Maybe you work somewhere and they have some scholarship opportunities. You can look at national organizations. Talk to your guidance counselor. Talk to local businesses. Talk to your family and friends that might have connections somewhere. You can look at public libraries. Sometimes they have bulletin boards that advertise different scholarships. And you can also search the internet for sites such as scholarships.com or fastweb.com. And then there's federal student aid. So federal student aid is what we're going to focus most of the rest of the presentation on. Who can qualify for federal student aid? You have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. You must be a high school graduate or working towards that, obviously. So you'll have to prove have a diploma to get into that school, or you can have a GED. You have to be in an eligible degree or certificate program. So if you're going to a four-year college or a community college, they're going to probably be okay. So just double check with that. You need to have a valid social security number. If you're a male, you must have registered for selective service. And then you must have pretty good academic progress. So let's do a little wrap-up quiz on that section, just to kind of make sure everything came together. So question 1, grants have to be repaid by, once you finish college, your third year of college, you never have to repay them, or 2 years after you graduate from college. The answer is C. You never have to repay them. Again, this is the beauty of a grant and why you should seek those out if possible. Question 2. All or work study opportunities except working in a campus bookstore, Best Buy, the library, or the cafeteria. The answer is B. Working at Best Buy. All other three, the bookstore, the library, and the cafeteria, are going to be places that you have on campus. A work study, again, is an opportunity the college is going to give you. Best Buy is a private company. It will not be related to the college, so that's why that is the answer. Question 3. You need all the following to get financial aid except a high school diploma or GED, a valid social security number, your driver's license, or proof of permanent U.S. residence. The answer is C. You do not have to have a driver's license to apply for financial aid. So how much federal student aid can you get? Well, it's kind of a complicated formula and one that a lot of people don't really understand. So the best thing you can do is be prepared to get into to see what kind of financial aid you qualify for. And it's determined by the formula that's used on the FAFSA website, which is expected family contribution and cost of attendance. And they're referred to as EFC and COA. So the EFC comes from what you report on your FAFSA. So the expected contribution is going to be based on your family's, their work salaries, for example, maybe some of the taxes they pay, and some of the other things that they have maybe in their bank accounts. The cost of attendance is going to be dependent on what school you're attending. It's going to be based on their specific tuition, fees, room and board, transportation, food, etc. So once you put all this into this FAFSA website, they're going to do a formula with cost of attendance minus expected family contribution. And that's going to help you determine your financial need. So what are some of the values you can get as far as financial student aid? So a first year student in 2013-14 can use some of these following figures, and we'll just go over a couple. A federal Pell Grant can be worth up to $5,645, and again, that's a grant, so you don't have to pay that back. A federal Stafford loan, you can get up to $5,500, and a federal Perkins loan, you can get up to the same amount. The difference between a Perkins loan and a Stafford loan is Perkins is usually generally based on financial need a little more, and once you have to pay it back, the interest rate is usually a little bit lower. And then again, you have your work study and your federal plus loans, and that's a different kind, and it's going to all be dependent on what the school can offer and some other factors. You can also do an estimate before you actually do the financial aid process. At the website below, fafsaforecaster.ed.gov, you can enter some financial information and get a nice estimate if you're maybe a junior or early in your senior year, just to kind of get an idea of what you can do to start, figuring out that financial aid. When you're actually ready to apply, you're going to go to the FAFSA website and you're going to go to fafsa.gov. Some of the other ways to apply for different kinds of aid. For state aid, it's going to be, again, dependent on what state you live in, so I can't put that information here. School aid, you're going to actually contact your school's financial aid office and then find out how you need to apply. And then scholarships all range in different ways. So for scholarships, there might be online scholarships, there might be local scholarships, so you just need to find those specific scholarships and go by what their stipulations are. So here are the steps for applying for FAFSA, Federal Student Aid. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get a PIN number. So pin.ed.gov. And your parents are probably going to need one too, so they can apply as well. So you're going to choose your PIN and make sure you write that down and don't tell anybody what your PIN is. If you want, you can do, again, another estimate, a practice worksheet based on this website, and it'll give you a checklist of all the documents that you're going to need. So you can, again, fill in your worksheet to prepare your answers for actually doing the online application. And you can fill in your FAFSA online at fafsa.gov. You can start to apply after January 1st of the year that you're going to attend the college. So if you're going to attend in the fall of 2015, then you can start applying at January 1st, 2015. Sometimes you need to wait for tax documents for the previous work year to come in to get a better representation. So you might have to wait a couple weeks. If you need help, you can click on the live help icon or call the toll-free number listed. And once you're all done, make sure you print your confirmation page. You're going to get an automated email from the Federal Student Aid, or you can get it by mail if you choose to do so. And just make sure you double check all your information, use your pen if you need to, or look at that paper that they send you. If there's any mistakes, make sure that you correct them as soon as possible. Once everything goes through, you're going to start getting emails and letters and calls from your school, and they're going to help you to finalize the financial aid process. They might ask for additional paperwork, and then they might give you specific deadlines, so make sure you pay attention to what those deadlines could be. So what happens next? So each school is going to tell you how much aid you can qualify for, or whether you qualify for a work study and how that will come into play. Once you decide which school to attend, make sure you keep in touch with that financial aid office and how you are going to actually acquire that aid. So find out if you get a grant, is it going to be applied directly to your tuition, or how is that going to work? Are you going to get a check? You got to figure out how to manage all that stuff. When you get a loan, usually if you get an extra than what you owe for the school, you're going to get that check maybe to help you cover some food and stuff during the semester. So just know how that's going to work. Let's do some last wrap up questions. Where can you go to get an estimate on how much financial aid you can get? Should you ask your parents? Should you go to FAFSA Forecaster? Or should you talk to your guidance counselor? You should do B. So if you want to do a little estimate, go to that website and give yourself a little practice run. Question 2. How do you get started with filling out the FAFSA form? Should you talk to your science teacher and ask a government official, register for a PIN, or ask a friend? The answer is C. The first thing you do is register for a PIN. Question 3. How do you know what forms you need before starting the FAFSA application? Should you ask your parents? Should you surf the FAFSA website checklist, ask your local librarian, or search Facebook? The answer is B. Search and the FAFSA website checklist to see what documentation you will need. So where can you get more info? You can always go to federalstudentaid.ed.gov, and they're going to give you information about their aids, and their programs, their scholarships. And they also have a free college search. There's also, again, that toll-free number where you can talk about aid programs if you have any questions and help with a FAFSA. I hope this presentation has been beneficial, and good luck on your financial aid endeavors.